So our story begins in 1710 when Edward's father-in-law kicks his ass for being a drunk and was like, "That's what you get, you broke bitch." And Edward, tired of this disrespect, one day told his wife, "Man, we broke as hell living in this busted ass shack. I'm gonna go be a pirate." And his wife was like,
"That's a great idea. I'm with that."
Because during this time, Britain had mad beef with Spain, and being a privateer made bank. So Edward's wife asks how long he'll be gone, and Edward responds with, "Don't worry, baby, I will never leave you. I'll be gone 2 years, tops."
5 years later.
Oh, that was a fucking lie.
So while attacking the ship, both parties get wrecked, and the only survivors are Edward and an assassin called Duncan Walpole.
Was it good for you as well?
Duncan, being injured, makes the mistake of asking Edward for help in exchange for money. But the only thing Edward heard was money. So Edward not only stabs him, but also yanks his clothes and runs his pockets.
Stop! He's already dead.
On the island, Edward rescues Stede Bonnet, who is currently just a trader, and gives Edward a ride. In Havana, Edward goes to the governor's mansion, dressed as Duncan Walpole, because the governor is a Templar and Duncan was a traitor to the assassins. So Edward is like, I'ma scam him for some Monet.
We've got to have money.
Edward gives the governor some crystals, and the governor starts spouting Templar lore, and Edward looks at him like,
"What the fuck?"
And that's how it happened.
But basically the gist of it is it's an observatory that gives you the precise location of a person based on their blood. So basically it's a big ass fancy GPS tracker.
Did you know that I can see you?
Sometime later, after saving the governor's life from the assassins, Edward gets rewarded with like $100 and is like,
Man, this is some bullshit.
and instead breaks into the mansion to yoink the maps of the observatory and maybe kind of sort of kidnap the sage, Bartholomew Roberts, aka Black Bart. Because he's the only one who can open the observatory because he has ancient alien blood or something. I don't know, man. Assassin's Creed is weird. But Edward gets caught almost immediately.
This is 4K! How did they get you at 4K?
And gets sent to a slave ship, but escapes using the tried and true method of...
Now, on the count of teeth. Teeth!
with his best friendo, Adewale. After this, they escape and steal a ship, which Edward calls the Jackdaw, and sail to Nassau, the pirate republic.
I think I'll keep her.
All hands aft, lads. We're taking this one home.
In Nassau, Edward links up with the famous pirate buddies like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, Jack Rackham, freaking Luffy probably, Captain Hook, Sly Cooper, and more.
Aye, matey. And not to be rude, but let's talk of treasure.
And this is where being a history nerd is kind of a double-edged sword, because I know exactly how each one of these people meet their end, but that's a sad story for later. Right now, it's party time!
Oi, oi. Why the long face? You falling in love? With your blouse. You're welcome to Nassau, gents.
Now at this point, you're free to sail the seas, and I will freely admit that the first time I played this game, I did it very, very wrong. Because I proceeded to do literally anything other than progress the story. Pirating, hunting, fishing, raiding, whatever. I was having so much fun, I legitimately forgot about the plot.
We do not plunge headlong into folly on the orders of a single madman, but act according to our own collective madness.
And I don't know what it is, but I swear every guy I know loves pirates, and this game is just the best pirate simulator out there.
Whoa, pirates, life is a wonderful life, they never bury your bones.
Alright, we've had our fun, time to get back to the story. Edward still wants to find the observatory for Monet. And the only one who wants to help him is Captain Head, who is definitely not a woman.
I'm here to find the man I love.
I'm deeply flattered, son, but my first and only love is the sea.
Kid tells Edward to meet in Mexico, where he proceeds to beat up some assassins, only to be stopped by the leader, who is mad as hell because Edward's been low-key kind of killing them. But they come to an accord, and Edward tells him that he knows where the sage is. Working together, Kid and Edward want to kill the governor of Havana and find Black Bart. But during the infiltration, Kid reveals that she's actually a woman.
Ready?
Your name's not James, is it? So, what's your real name, lass?
Mary Reed to my mum. But not a word of it to anyone. Or I'll unman you as well.
I am completely and utterly bamboozled by this revelation.
I said I am a woman.
What? But unfortunately, Roberts manages to escape. In 1718, the British king issued a pardon, and this obviously caused quite a stir in the pirate society, as only about half the pirates actually wanted it. But then, the freaking plague spouted out of nowhere. And Blackbeard, being the absolute mad lad that he was, sacked the city of Charleston for some medicine. Which, for some reason, always makes me laugh, because not only is this a true story, but also, you don't really think of medicine and pirates in the same sentence, because, you know, scurvy and all that. Anyway, now that the whole of England is hunting him down, Blackbeard decides that this is a good time for retirement. But it turns out that the British found Blackbeard's hideout and brought freaking missiles. Edward tries helping out, but Edward escapes barely. But I hope you like tragedy, because it is far from over.
What a fat sir. Did he fall? Captain?
He drinks damnation.
That's called foreshadowing.
Sometime later, Jack Rackham, that bitch, he done stole my boat.
Lads! See, the boys and I had a bit of counsel while you were wasting time with this lot. And, well, they figured I'd be a fitter captain than you reckless dogs.
You regret this day, Rackham.
I regret most of them already.
Seriously, the absolute worst pirate in history.
Read a book, people.
I hate this man. Captures the Jackdaw and maroons Edward with Charles Vane. And if you know anything about Charles Vane, you know that he is batshit crazy.
But you one crazy ass bitch.
Edward somehow manages not to get shanked by Vane and escapes the island and expeditiously gets his baby back before Rackham trades it for like a bottle of booze or a pack of cigarettes. Because, you know, he's incompetent.
This Billy Huff didn't last 2 months with your shit before he came limping back to Nassau. Took the pardon straight away.
I had to, lads. That Rogers was onto me from the first.
Oh, wait, I can't read.
Now, during this time, James Hornigold, who was a pirate himself, took the king's pardon and became a pirate hunter, working with the Templars.
Oh, the deception! The betrayal, man. You deceived me!
And while Edward was negotiating with Black Bart about fighting the observatory, Hornigold spawned in from out of nowhere and was like,
Surprise, bitch! Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
And this got Edward big mad, so he tracks down Hornigold and shanks him.
You threw in with the very kind we once hated!
But if you continue on your present course, you'll find you're the only one walking it. With the gallows at its end.
Ouch! I fell and hurt my tummy.
Regardless, Edward and Roberts find that observatory, and Roberts starts having flashbacks. You see, Roberts is actually an Isu, basically an ancient, extinct, superhuman race, kind of like the Kryptonians, but instead of dying, Roberts decided to get consistently reincarnated into different people. Now, I get this is super confusing, and I will try and explain, but you just have to play the other AC games with the modern plot to grasp the full picture. And since I am completely uninterested in doing any of that, let's just call it a day, and let's just call Roberts a bad guy and move on. Speaking of which, Roberts yeets Edward off a cliff. Edward survives, but Roberts finds him and gives him over to the British to be hanged, because he's a dick.
That's a lot of words to call me an asshole.
No, it's the polite way to say everyone thinks you're an asshole.
It's now 1720, and Edward is about to be hanged next to Mary Reed and another woman called Anne Bonny. But they're both like, I unveil my ultimate trap card, pregnancy. Because abortion was considered heresy back in the day, so their execution was postponed, and this gives the assassins enough time to rescue Edward in order for Edward to rescue Mary. On the way to her rescue, Edward finds Jack Rackham and Charles Vane both executed.
Oh no! Anyway,
Mary gives birth, and immediately dies.
Anyway, sweetie, as we all know, we've all done all we can for her, as she is a woman and therefore weak. All of today's modern medicine can no longer help her.
Edward is ready to crash the hell out because all of his friends keep dying, and the leader of the assassins like, well, you might as well look cool while doing it, and gives Edward his assassin robes.
You gotta look fly.
Edward then meets up with his besto friendo, Adewale, who is full-on drunk with the assassin's Kool-Aid.
You happened here, Edward. The damage you caused 6 years ago has not been undone.
I'm not an easy man to call a friend, am I?
So in order to make amends and get
revenge,
Edward teams up with Aunt Bonnie and hunts down Woods Rogers and Black Bart. And then Rogers starts parting some Isu lore, and Edward's like, man, just shut the hell up and die already, mate. Damn. And finally, Edward slays the governor of Cuba, who roasts the shit out of Edward before dying.
Can we ever a splinter in my side? Does this murder fulfill you? You have no family anymore, no friends, no future. Your losses are far greater than ours.
Very poor choice of words.
You wear your convictions well. They suit you.
After doing all that, Edward finally remembers that he has a wife that he abandoned like 10 years ago at this point. Edward's looking at that letter like, I have a wife?
Wait, you mean you two never got married?
What is that, some kind of food?
And spoilers, but she died.
As she is a woman and therefore weak.
And Edward has a surprise daughter who he's been neglecting this entire time.
You're a good man, Edward. And if you learn to keep settled in one place for more than a week, you'll make a fine father too. Of all the money that I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that I've done, alas, it was to none but me.
And then Edward, together with his daughter, sail back to the country of perpetual darkness and rain. And I know that the country drained the life out of this man because he died at the ripe old age of like 42. But before dying, he sires a son named Hatham, but that's a story for another day. Overall, this game slaps, man. It is incredibly fun to play pirates, and meeting historical figures is entertaining as hell, man. Assassin's Creed used to be such a good franchise, and I mean, hopefully they don't just completely screw up the remake, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.